What if the war on Palestine didn't begin in 2023 or 1948, or even 1967, but more than a century ago? This is the untold story of settler colonial conquest, resistance, and the global complicity in the century-long war on Palestine, from the Balfour Declaration to the rubble of Gaza in 2025. In 1917, British Foreign Secretary Arthur Balfour issued a statement, just 67 words that would mark the beginning of a colonial project backed by empire and sustained by silence. While promising a national home for the Jewish people, Balfour reduced the Arab majority to non-Jewish communities, denying them history, identity, and future. This wasn't diplomacy, it was a declaration of war. As British forces occupied Palestine, they enabled the creation of a parallel Zionist state-in-waiting, equipped with its own economy, institutions, and militias. Arab labor was excluded. Immigration surged. The native population was systematically pushed aside. This was not coexistence. This was displacement in slow motion. In 1948, that vision became violent reality. More than 750,000 Palestinians were expelled from their homes. Over 400 villages were wiped off the map. The Nakba, catastrophe, was not a one-time event. It was the birth of a state through the erasure of a people. From 1948 onward, the war on Palestine became global. Western powers funded and armed Israel. The United States shielded it diplomatically at every turn. The United Nations passed resolutions only to watch them ignored or vetoed. This wasn't just complicity, it was collaboration. Gaza, by 2007, had become the world's largest open-air prison. 2 million people fenced in by land, air, and sea, electricity rationed, clean water scarce, medicine blocked, bombed again and again from 2008 to 2023, thousands killed, entire families erased. But the siege didn't break Gaza, it only hardened its will. The so-called peace process promised liberation. Instead, it entrenched apartheid. Oslo gave Palestinians a flag, but no freedom. It gave Israel time to expand settlements, to build walls, and to fragment Palestinian life into disconnected enclaves and refugee camps. Peace became the mask for permanent control. In 2025, Gaza once again made headlines, this time for the scale of its destruction. Entire neighborhoods obliterated, hospitals bombed, journalists killed, children buried beneath concrete. This is not a war between equals. This is state violence against a stateless people. But resistance did not begin with Hamas. It began with farmers refusing to leave their land in the 1920s, with letters to Herzl, like the one from Yusuf Dia al-Khalidi in 1899, "Let Palestine be left alone." It continued in the refugee camps, in the First Intifada, in the poetry of Darwish, and in the voices of Gaza's youth today. To understand Gaza is to understand the entire colonial structure of Zionism. This isn't about religion. It's about power. It's about land. It's about who gets to exist and who must be erased for others to return. The West calls it a conflict, but this is a conquest. It began with settler colonialism, and it has never stopped. From Balfour to Ben-Gurion, from Oslo to October 7th, from 1948 to 2025, this has always been a war on Palestinian existence. Yet Palestine endures, in every olive tree replanted, in every child who learns the names of erased villages, in every chant from Gaza to Jenin to Ramallah, "We will not leave." The world told Palestinians to negotiate under occupation, to wait, to be reasonable while they were disappeared. But history has never been kind to the patient oppressed. Let's be clear, this is not a tragedy, it's an injustice, one that continues only because the world allows it to. To stay silent now is to be complicit. History did not begin on October 7th. It began in 1917 with empire, settler colonialism, and erasure. But it will not end there, because Palestine is not just a place, it is a people, and people do not disappear. This film is based on the 100 Years' War on Palestine by Rashid Khalidi. Support independent journalism, share this video, break the silence, and never forget Palestine still stands.